at this moment in time, it is to speak 6 languages. Yeah, but that would be an absolute dream of mine to sort of bring a text to life through my voice. I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions, but I did spend a bit of time thinking the past weeks about the fact that I do have goals and dreams for the future. I just don't necessarily think I can reach them within a year. So today I want to talk about the 10 literary goals that have to do with language learning, reading, and things alike that are really more set out to be reached over the long term. And I hope I can inspire you to think about some of those for yourself as well. Because I think especially when it comes to language learning and reading big books, classics, building up a catalog of books of languages that can take a while. But it is a very lucrative thing to do. We just need a bit more of a broader horizon, I think. And to make it a bit more interesting for me, I will also give all of the goals a rating of 1 to 5 on how likely I think it is that I'm going to reach them and how long I maybe think it's going to take me. Yeah, I just think this will be lovely to look back on in maybe a handful of years and see which ones I actually reached. So I hope this is inspiring or entertaining to you in some way. And yeah, I just thought it would be a lovely video to sort of end this year. So let's get into it. So the first goal, which is by far the biggest and most important one for me, way on top of the list, is to read all of Proust in the original French. Now, you might have expected that if you know me or my channel, you know how much I love In Search of Lost Time. And it would just be such a dream of mine to be able to appreciate it in the original language. Now, that is a very big goal because not only is In Search of Lost Time 8,000 pages long, it's also in French, which is my third language. And it is okay. My French is all right. It's just not as good as it used to be anymore. So this is going to be quite a challenge for me, but one I'm so much looking out for. Yeah, I'm giving this a 5 on 5 in terms of how likely it is that I think I'm going to reach it, just because I love it so much and I so want to do it. I'm just sure it's going to happen at some point. But I think it might take me probably at least 5 years, because I haven't even read all of it in English yet. So that is a very long-term horizon. So the next goal I have has to do with learning languages. And that goal sort of continuously changes, but at this moment in time, it is to speak 6 languages fluently. I'm not too far away from that. I speak 4 languages and I have to learn another one at university, and I'll have to do Latin as well. So it is pretty likely that that is gonna be happening. So I would give this like a 4.5 out of 5. I just think it might take me at least 3 years or something, because I have quite a high standard for myself when it comes to learning languages. I'm really only happy when I can speak it extremely well. So I'm thinking the next languages might be Norwegian and Latin. And then, yeah, the thing about this goal is that it continuously keeps changing. Like way back when, I used to be happy with just knowing 4 languages, and now I'm like, maybe 8 would be nice or something like that. But I just keep pushing it further up the more languages I learn. So I'm not sure how many it will turn out to be in the end that I can really speak well, but I'm thinking 6 is a good number to aim for, and it's realistic. Okay, on the same note, goal number 3 would be to translate in 3 different languages. Let me explain what that what I mean by that, or what scenario I envision specifically. I would like to translate in person at some kind of seminar or talk or something. I have done that before. I translated German, Dutch, just at my old work. It wasn't anything, official that much, but I did spend like almost an entire week just communicating between two groups of people that didn't necessarily understand each other. And that was so lovely. I absolutely enjoyed it so much because I loved the topic we were talking about, and it was just so much fun to think about how to phrase specific things in a way that the meaning comes across well. And I was just in such a flow state. Like, that was one of my highlights of the last year was doing that. And yeah, I was in such a flow state. I felt so happy and so competent. And I would love to do that same thing, but then with 3 languages. So maybe there's 3 different groups of people that don't necessarily understand each other, and I can like rotate, translate back and forth in the moment. That would be, I think, such a challenge for me, and I would love that a lot. So I hope a scenario like that happens at some point. If you need someone to translate something, send me an email. I'd be happy. I'd be happy for about any practice. So yeah, let's move on to number 4, I think. Oh yeah, and how likely I think that's going to happen. I think it's like a 4 on 5 is the likelihood that it's going to happen. Yeah. So number 4 would be to record an audiobook. Again, something I would love to experience, and I think is somewhat likely to happen. I mean, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 because I don't really have experience with it. People do say I have a lovely voice, which is like the nicest compliment you can give me. That really makes me so happy to hear. But I think it will be quite a big project, and I do still make mistakes reading, so I don't know how I would have to train for that. And I also don't know what language I would do that in. It will probably be my mother tongue, German. And when I think about books I would love to read, I think the number 1 that comes to mind is The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann. So Der Zauberberg in the original German. That would be such a dream. And it is a very long book, though. It has almost 1,000 pages, so that will be quite a project. And I will have to look up, I don't even know what that is like with copyrights and whatnot, and what I would even do with that then. Yeah, so I haven't exactly looked into it. It's more of a dream that I think could maybe happen at some point the next 10 years. Maybe I could train a bit with like shorter stories, like a Franz Kafka story or something like that. But that would be an absolute dream of mine, to sort of bring a text to life through my voice. Yeah. Number 5 is to read all of Shakespeare chronologically. That will be another huge project. I think he has more than 40 plays. But the reason why I think that would be so valuable to do is to just see his progression as a writer. And I have a tendency to feel extremely intimidated about my own writing, because I read all of these great books and all of these great poems, and I never really look at where people started out from, because mostly when we read a great work by an author, they have written many things before that weren't as successful or as good. So yeah, I also love theater plays, and I would just, that would be such a special project. I'm really thinking about maybe I should just set that up and read like 1 play a month or something for 4 years. Yeah. I mean, how likely I think it's gonna happen, I think that's like a 3 out of 5, because it is not my top priority by any means, but I do think eventually I'll do it. And I mean, I've read like a small handful of his plays, but yeah, it might take me again like 7 years or something until I can say that I've done it. Okay, number 6 is a little bit of a different one, and that would be to get into acting, or at least to try it out. The weird thing is, when I was a kid, I always wanted to become an actress, and I've never done anything about that. I've never taken a single acting class. And I just don't really know why, but it is this thing that I keep in the back of my mind, thinking that I would really enjoy it, but I've never tried it. So I did enroll to an improv acting class in January sometime, so I'll report back how that was going. But other than that, I don't know, it always seemed very daunting. I don't know. I don't know if I would particularly enjoy the environment, and I just imagine it to be a very stressful situation to act on stage with all these different people, and I don't know. but I would love, what I would love is learning lines by heart and thinking about how to impersonate someone, and thinking about what the author was trying to do with this character on stage. Like that would be a very satisfying process, I think. So I'm on to that. I don't know how it's gonna evolve, so I'm just gonna leave it at that for now. Okay, dream number 7 is a very important one, and one that has gained importance to me over the past year, and that is to be able to make a living with my love for literature. And ever since this YouTube channel has gotten some attention, that dream has just come a lot closer, or it feels a lot more realistic to me now than it did the months prior to that. And I would just, I don't know exactly what I want it to look like, but I would love to do it in a way where it feels authentic, where I don't have to sell you anything stupid, or I don't have to change my character in some way to appeal to people or whatnot. Like, I would just love to find a way to do that authentically, and for that to bring in enough money to live from. I think if you're an artist, you can relate to that dream and that desire to make your art your income in a way that also feels good. Like, that is just such a dream, such an artist's dream that doesn't come true for many people. So I'm so grateful about how this channel is going, because I still feel like I really enjoy it, and I'm just, I'm just me, and I don't have to perform in any crazy way to get clicks or get money or something like that. So that, I think, is pretty likely to happen at some point. So I'll give this like a 4 out of 5 in likelihood. Yeah, kind of like close to that dream is also the dream of wanting to bring German literature closer to English-speaking people, or to just like act as that glue between the languages. Because I see a lot of content in German about German books, and in English about English books, and in French about French books, and so on, but it always seems like it's all islands, and there's just not enough communication going on with each other, because of course it's difficult. You have to learn the languages and engage in translation and things like that. But I would love to be that person that sort of brings these groups of languages together and makes them appreciate each other more and makes them more accessible to people from different language backgrounds, basically. That's also why I'm dreaming of speaking more languages, is to be able to do that on a broader basis somehow. But yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is I don't want to like specifically get boxed into one corner of just English literature, just German literature or whatnot. Like, I would love to be, the thing that kind of keeps it together or makes the relationships between them clearer, I guess. Yeah. I think I'm on a good way with that. So, yeah, just putting that out there as a dream. Number 8 has to do with Goethe's Faust, and that would be to learn part of the book by heart. At first I was thinking I would love to be able to recite all of Faust 1 by heart, but I think that's a little unrealistic. I'm not going to do that. But I have it here, and I think the 3 introductions plus the night scene, they're like 25 pages. I think that is realistic, because I've gone over that so many times at this point that I do know big parts of it by heart, and I used to know, again, big chunks by heart. I just think that would be so cool to casually throw that in a conversation, like a cool line, I don't know. Or maybe do a video where I say it all up by heart or like enact it in some way. I don't know. That would be lovely, because somehow the rhythms and rhymes of that text are just like a balm to my soul, and it feels so good to speak them out loud. So I think that would be a very rewarding endeavor, actually. And I think I'll give this like 3 out of 5 in terms of likelihood, because again, it's not my top priority, but I think 5 years down the line, I'm probably going to be able to do that. Number 9 is a pretty simple one, but also really difficult, actually. And it would be to make a video here on this channel about Proust and In Search of Lost Time that I am happy with and that I feel reflects the soul of that work in a proper way. Like, that is just something I keep thinking about, is how to speak about this book in a way that is justified, because I don't know how to do that. I feel like it speaks for itself, and every time I try to put it into words, it feels almost like I'm not living up to it, or I'm almost damaging it in some way or something. I just say to people, just read it, like, don't ask me anything. But it would be lovely to be able to make like an artsy video that sort of encapsulates the feeling I get when I read this book and transfers it to other people. That would be a bit of a bigger project, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that at some point. So I think I'm going to give that like a 4 out of 5 in terms of likelihood. Yeah, it just needs some mulling over on how I'm gonna go about that. Okay, and number 10 is a little bit more of a materialistic one, and that would be to just have a reading room or like a home library with a cozy reading chair at some point. I think everyone dreams about that. But I would love a dedicated room for all my books, for all my folders. I do have that a little bit here, actually, so I'm not complaining. But I guess just a little bit bigger, because those shelves are full again already. And I would love to be able to hang up some artwork on the wall and just have it a bit more cozy. Like, this is a very light-filled room, which is lovely. I think I would love it to be like dark and cozy. And then I would love also to have the Everyman library books of all my favorite classics. Like, it's those beautiful hardcover books that look just gorgeous when you take the dust jacket off. I don't have a single one of those, but I know they're really good quality. They look amazing, and it would be those books that I don't write anything in. Like, I would just leave them as they are, and I think it would look so neat to have like a bookshelf just for those. So, if I end up having way too much money at some point, I'm just gonna get all of them or something. Yeah, so that was number 10. I have a little bonus point. I just sort of wanted to put that in as well. I guess that would be number 11, and that is my dream to get my literature degree. I'm way at the beginning of that, but I think it's pretty likely that I'm gonna keep doing it, and that I'm gonna have a bachelor's degree, maybe eventually a master's degree in comparative literature. I would just be really proud of myself, I think, if I did that. Starting to study a little bit later in life, and just sort of going after my dream in that way and really pulling through with it. So, and I think it's pretty likely that I'm gonna keep doing it, so I give that a 4 out of 5. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know if any of those resonated with you, if they got you an idea, or what your long-term dreams are. And on that note, I just want to wish you a beautiful transition to the new year, however you decide to celebrate it. Thank you so much for being here and for watching my videos. I really appreciate it a lot. 2023 was a very special year for me because this channel just got a lot of attention, and it has been a really, really beautiful ride for me. And I have a lot of amazing things planned for 2024, so I hope to keep going with the weekly videos, and also maybe with a couple of extra projects. So there's things in the pipeline. And I hope to see you around for that. Thank you again for watching, and I see you again soon. Bye bye.